Good evening, teacher. We're going to present the history of pedagogy. I'm Camila, and I'm going to talk about the pedagogy. As we already know, pedagogy is the art and science of teaching. Early education systems in civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, and China were often designed to train leaders, warriors, and scholars. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laid the foundations of educational thought. First, Socrates introduced the Socratic method, encouraging questioning and dialogue as a way of learning. On the other hand, Plato advocated for a structured hierarchical system, and finally, Aristotle emphasized empirical observation and broad education.
In your time, my method of questioning is known as the Socratic, after me, method, and is the basis of modern scientific and philosophical inquiry. And all this because I asked a few questions. Many people think that when someone asks a question, or many questions like I do, that they are unwise. But I think just the opposite. True wisdom is the knowledge of how little you actually know. It is this realization that allows you to start asking questions and get to the real truth. Asking questions may be the best way to get to truth.
So now we're going to talk about the changes in education and before and now. So before, traditional education was principally teacher-centered, where students only expected to memorize and absorb information, and knowledge was transmitted from teacher to student in just one-way manner. And now, pedagogy focus on student-centered, with an emphasis on active learning, doing different activities and using also another tools, and emphasize on active learning in critical thinking and also problem solving. And the role of the teacher nowadays is to be a facilitator who guides the students in their learning process with some guide.
Today's technology is transforming the classroom as we know it. Many students can absorb subject matter from a remote environment. They can thrive with a hybrid learning option. Things have changed drastically in the last few years, and the transformation shows no signs of slowing. The four walls of the classroom are no longer seen as necessary for students to absorb information, communicate with classmates, and work together to solve problems. The internet has paved the way for educational transformation and has solved many of the issues faced today as we navigate these challenging times. For instance, sharing school supplies can be a thing of the past. The internet allows you to showcase your digital solutions for notepaper, drawing utensils, and other helpful tools. EdTech companies can use the internet and technology in general to showcase their product as productively and efficiently as possible.
Education has evolved from focusing on memorization, lectures, and repetition, with little regards for students' differences, to modern approaches that emphasize collaborative and project-based learning, methods like flipped classrooms, encourage creativity, adaptability, and interpersonal skills. Additional access to education has expanded, promoting inclusion and equality for marginalized groups through inclusive practices and supportive laws.
Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about the technology. The technology in the past before was very complex because it was through books, oral lectures, and written papers. So they didn't have enough resources to teach the students. and the primary source of information were the teachers. But now it has changed because the technology has transformed education through the use of digital tools, making the classes more interactive with the use of simulations, videos, and new apps. The students can use learning platforms and multimedia resources to make the learning more easy. So in the case of evaluation and assessment, before was predominated through exams and standardized tests that commonly measures the factual knowledge. But now, in the modernity of education, we have a wide variety of assessment methods, including formative assessment, self-assessment, peer evaluation, portfolio-based evaluation, that not use aims to the memorizing of factual knowledge. It wants to improve the critical thinking, the creativity, and the skills application of the students.
Learning theories before and now. Before, earlier education systems were informed by behaviorist theories, where learning was a result of conditioning learning, such as stimulus and response. And learning theories now is this contain three theories: constructivism, social learning, and cognitivism. Okay, constructivism is a process when students build their own understanding, and the social learning is a process with communication, collaboration, and observation, and the cognitivism is a process with knowledge. In summary, pedagogy has transitioned from a rigid teacher-centered approach to a more flexible and inclusive classes for each student. These influenced by advances in pedagogy, psychology, and technology. Thank you for your attention.